Today I'm going to show you how to make the fancy scrolls that we use to finish off some of our wire wrap. The tools we'll be using today is a measuring stick, round nose pliers, bent nose pliers, a cutter, and a hammer with a rubber tip. The first one we're going to make is the head pin. We'll cut a piece of wire that's about 3 inches long. Using our round nose plier, we'll put the tip of the wire on the tip of the tool, the round nose plier, so it'll be tip to tip. And notice how my thumb is resting on the top of the tool. I'm going to use some short motions, just turn and reposition, turn and reposition, just using short movements so that we don't have any injuries with our thumb, wrist, or elbow. So going tip to tip, turn away, reposition, turn away, reposition, turn away, reposition, until we have a ring. Let me move the measuring tapes out of the way. Can you see that? There you go. Using my bent nose pliers, I'm going to use the elbow of the pliers, which is the back side instead of the point. I'll put the elbow across the ring that we just made to hold it securely while I gently push the wire around the outside of the little loop we just made. And I reposition, you just move real tiny movements, reposition, bend the wire, reposition, bend the wire, and I like to go about 3 times, but it really depends on the size of your project. Let's go just a little bit more so that I can count 3 rings from where I started. So I started here, and there's 1, 2, 3 rings. So your head pin will look like this. Now we're going to take the point of the bent nose pliers and put it at the top of the wrap and bend that straight up. So there you have a head pin. The head pin, you can thread on your bead and either leave it as a dangle, leave it down at the bottom, or you can bend it up over the top of your bead. Next we'll make a scroll. So I put the ring, I've already put the ring in the end, on both ends, opposite ends, going opposite directions, and I'm going to roll bend that wire around the outside using the elbow of the bent nose pliers toward the center. And on the other end. And just short movements so that you have a little more control over the circles that you're making. and they come out a little smoother because you're doing it slowly. And I chose copper today so it will show up better in the picture, in the video, because the silver and the gold kind of wash out. Okay, so there you have a scroll. Now you can use this in a couple of ways. You can wrap them really tight. So that the scrolls come completely together, and use them as a link for an earring dangle or as a link for a bracelet. And when we do that, we get out our little hammer, the rubber tip hammer. And we gently pound it. You can put a cloth over the top too if you want. Just to make it a little stiffer so that it doesn't pull apart quite so easily if it has another weight on it. So there's a lot more tension on that now. And then you would link a jump ring through the hole on this end. And the jump ring on the hole in this end. So it makes it really pretty look. You can do them opposite, or you can do them together. The other thing you can do is use it for a bead cap. So if you can't find that particular metal that you want, you can always make the bead cap out of the metal that you're working with. And the way we do this is we're going to bend this wire a little bit so that it's in kind of a U shape. It's just a little bit of a bend. Let's see, you see that there? And I take my metal, a piece of wire, and I'm going to thread it through one hole of the bead cap, of that scroll we just made, and then through the bead. And this can get tricky, so you can spread that out a little bit because we're going to bend this over the top of the wire. You have to do a little bit of juggling there. A little more bend, and that's what we'll go through. And then you bend it so that it fits around the bead. And there you have a bead cap. So 3 things that you can do making the scroll. You've got a head pin, you have a bead cap, and you have a link. Thanks for watching me today.